All right. Good morning, January 1st, 2026. Start of a new year. The weather's slightly different where I am right now than my usual tropical wonderland. But nice change of pace. Anyways, so it's been 3 years since the generative AI boom has sort of kicked off. And yeah, we're definitely at a point now where it is pretty clear that the world is starting to change, right? So I can tell you that looking at things from a coding and software perspective, watching it go from like using the GPT-3 API to rattle off, some scripts or some random pieces of code, trying to do one-shot sort of like little APIs or Python knickknacks and stuff. And nowadays, like running like Gemini 3 or GPT 5.2 through Cursor, the stuff that you can build has come a long way. It's gotten to the point now where it's like I can build stuff that I couldn't have built before, without a lot of time or a big dev team or something, right? I can knock out stuff way faster, and I'm not the only one, obviously, right? Lots of people can, as long as they can get over their own ego. I still will go on Hacker News and look at threads of people saying, oh, the AI model can't do this or it can't do that, or and they just like, oh, it's all useful, it's AI slop. Well, it's not, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say to these people still. Like, they don't try hard enough still, is my guess. They just give up, and it's definitely like fueling like insecurity or something like that. I think it's more psychological than an actual evaluation of the capabilities of these models. Anyways, I don't really want to waste much time talking about people like that still, because there's so much other more interesting stuff to do. So over the past while, like, I've been working on some interesting things. One of the things I'm working on is a new blockchain, which basically is using quantum resistant algorithms. These are algorithms that are not susceptible to Shor's algorithms. So the two ones that we're working with are called Kyber and Dilithium. And so that's part of it, is using quantum resistant encryption. And then also it's using NPU optimized mining. So I want to make this blockchain kind of a throwback to the days of laptop mining, right? So everybody's got an NPU inside of their MacBook or Mac Mini or Studio or whatever, right? Like any of the M series chips, right? And now I figure you could use those NPUs to do the mining, right? So I worked on building that, and it's using something called the batch one efficiency gap, where basically it's there's no benefit to doing it on like a big GPU or something or anything like that. The idea is to try and create something where it can't be co-opted by large mining centers or something like that. Where now obviously there also has to be like other protocols other parts of the protocol that manage this, but that's kind of the idea at this point still, is to make it so that everybody can like sort of like access it and mine it, and make it incentivize it to be truly decentralized, right? Because when you have the technical requirements or the hardware requirements getting too high and too difficult for mining, and also there's like efficiency stuff which I won't get into still, but yeah, basically it starts to just become centralized again. And there's lots of examples of this in current sort of popular blockchains, right? So that's another part of it. And then there's sort of like adding like privacy relays on top of it still. So this is like kind of like Mixnet sort of onion routing type of things as well. And the idea is actually to have it not just do transfer of value like through tokens, and it's EVM compatible, by the way, because of course, right? I'd be crazy to not make it EVM compatible, seeing as it like that's basically what I've been working with for the past 8 years now. But yeah, so besides that, I also want to have it do like decentralized data storage and decentralized messaging. There's kind of an all-in-one network. And then also potentially, because it's all running on NPUs, and this is an experiment at this point still, but having it run like a proof of useful work. So it's like the POW isn't just like rattling off, this and that, but it's like also in parallel, like running AI tasks, like and like using the data storage to host models, and then running tasks on the network for that. It's I don't know if it'll completely work, but so far it seems pretty promising. So the project's in Rust and JavaScript, and I've put it online. What I've been working on so far, it's Po8 Network. I think whatever I've got it in progress is up on GitHub. Link there if you want to check that out. They've got some other projects in the works. There's a video sort of focused app that's like basically designed to help you manage the development of scripts, screenplays, storyboard type of thing, connect it into AI models, and then eventually like sort of like generate all of the videos for that still. So that's mostly working with the Vertex AI APIs. That's like Gemini, Imagen, and Veo. And that's been going pretty good still. I've made some nice progress on that, but that's not ready for release quite just yet. Obviously, in tandem with that, I've been working on my own actual creative projects. Like I have some sci-fi sort of series I've been working on, and also have a book series I'm working on as well too, which is kind of exploring some of the different roles in society. I'll explain more about that later when it's a little bit more fleshed out, but I think it's pretty interesting. I've been using a lot of deep research to help me sort of find reference material and like fact checking things for that one. So that's been pretty cool. Also just started another project recently called Polywizard, and that is for managing all of my websites. I have about like 14 or 15 different websites, and they all kind of use the same sort of build structure. So I'm using that, this new thing, so to manage them, and then manage the blogging for all of the websites and the social media posts. And then I just also expanded that to do courses and ebooks development as well. And so just sort of put that all into one centralized sort of system. And then I have another system that's called Ada HQ, and then basically that is like my own sort of like private personal assistant that uses like locally hosted models at the core of it, but then basically sort of like has a database structure that manages all the things in my life that I want to work on, or that I'm dealing with still. So like there's obviously it's like health management, wealth management, this like reading list and things that I want to study, and then projects, and then like esoteric type of things like astrology and tarot cards and I Ching and stuff, because I'm weird like that. So yeah, basically there's a lot, and then the idea is to have that actually hook up into the video app and Polywizard, and be able to interact and manage those projects there. I don't have a system yet for doing like full app deployments and management still, because I just haven't gotten there yet still. But at some point, we'll want it to actually interact with Cursor directly, through the background agents API. Kind of the same way, like I thought about doing it in Slack, but I think Slack is good for collaborative type of stuff, right? But I don't really collaborate with anyone, not for lack of trying, just, I don't know, that's just how she's gone so far. So I'm just sort of centering all this as like a solo kind of mission, where everything sort of centers around me and this like sort of centralized home base. But yeah, I figure like if I keep working on these things, probably by the end of this year, I'll be able to generate multimodal content of all types, and not just like one shots, but like deeply iterative workflows, right? I have one that's like been doing a script analysis report, so it takes about 2 hours to run through still. It's doing like audience simulations, of different demographic groups and stuff like that. So I mean, like, yeah, these things can do like hundreds or thousands of model calls, right? This is what I was saying for a few years now still, is like, it's the amount of work that you can get the AI to do without you interacting with it, and the quality of that work, it just keeps going up and up and up, right? So I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with the way things are looking right now and going into 2026. I think it's definitely very exciting. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like there's not really going to be any slowdown in the pace of things. The open source stuff is all still gangbusters. We're seeing like new crazy, visual models and video models, and there's a new Nemotron that came out recently, and there's even an open source GPT that came out a little while ago. Like there's all kinds of stuff. There's seems, like I said, no slowdown on the models. And as it stands, I mean, like for me, I know there's lots of other projects doing tooling and stuff like that, but I find they have the same problem as every other piece of open source software kind of falls into, is that they're trying to please too many people, right? It's like, oh, it integrates with like 60 things, or has support for 40 of this and 70 of that, or whatever, right? But I only need like 2 or 3 of these specific things, so I don't want all that code bloat, right? So I find that just like spinning up my own apps in the languages and structures that I'm most comfortable and experienced with, using Cursor, has just been really fast and pleasant. And I just design my own UIs from scratch the way that I want them, and design the UX the way that I want it, and I just add in the integrations as I need them, and everything's really lean and runs well. And yeah, man, I couldn't be happier. So yeah, that's how she's looking for here for now. And I have a bunch of other crazy projects that are also going to be in the works. So there's a decentralized research project that's attached to one of my old projects in blockchain from a few years ago, and we'll be working on that a bit. I've got some like sort of more sci-fi type of hardware projects. They'll be coming down the pipeline, but I think those will probably wait. If I don't know if I'll really be able to get into them a lot this year. I'll probably be able to do a fair bit of like preliminary research and some design stuff, things like that, but I don't think I'll be getting into the hardware testing this year. Yeah, there's lots of things, and there's also like third-party projects I've been working with as well too. But yeah, I guess like yeah, it's really coming to fruition, the future, where I can work on all the different things that I want to work on. I don't have to necessarily pick and choose quite as much, because I'm able to make so much progress so quickly, that's no longer unfeasible, right? Like, I just look at the progress I've made on these different projects I've been working on, the amount of time that I've spent on them, and it's like, wow, I've done like what would have in the past probably been like 10 years of work, like if I was doing it all by myself, right? Like, yeah, like I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's absolutely insane when you really take a look at, you know, when you can knock out 60,000 lines of code in a weekend, you know, like I'm kind of speechless when I really think about it like that, right? So anyways, yeah, definitely going to be a crazy, fun, exciting year again. All gas, no brakes. See you, boys.